Alright guys, how's it going? I wanted to come on here and do a review of the book I just finished reading. The book I finished reading was actually the second of a currently duology. And I wanted to be able to discuss both books with you without, obviously, spoilers as much as I possibly can. Pardon me. They were good. I liked the first one better than the second one. The second one does allude to a potential third, so it could be a trilogy at some point. The first one I read a couple months ago on my e-reader, and the second one I purchased physical copy of because it had just come out in March, I want to say it was, of this year. So I really liked the first one. I wanted to get the second one to be able to keep them together in a set, like I said, I enjoyed the first one more than I enjoyed the second one. It doesn't mean that the second one was bad. It just meant the first one was a lot more impactful to me. It just resonated with me more. I should say not impactful, but it just resonated with me a little bit more. I enjoyed it a little bit more. I felt it had a little bit more imagination and things like that. So the books are Phantasma by Kaylie Smith, and the second is Enchantra by Kaylie Smith. This is the one that just recently came out that I just recently finished. So we'll start with the first, Phantasma. It has been a hot minute since I've read it, and when I say hot minute, it's been a couple months, but I've also read several things in between, so I'm just going to read the synopsis on the back real quick, just to be able to give you a better understanding of what's happening here, because if I try to take it from my brain, it's going to take me forever. Phantasma only has two rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. Oh, these are romanticities, by the way, and they have an element of horror in them, which was wonderful in this. It's not overly ick to me, which I'm kind of sensitive to horror. So, and the fact that I thought this was good, it's not going to be that bad. Also, before I continue, the spice level on this one was a bit high. And I mean, I'm sure that there are some people who would say that it isn't, and there are some people that would say that it is. I felt it was higher. I don't have really much of a problem with spice. Those that do have a problem with spice may not like this. The spice in this one is higher than the second book. I felt that the spice in that one wasn't nearly as bad. And not to say that these are bad. I mean, I've read some books that I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's just that's just how it was written. I do feel that it was necessary for the plot between the two characters to get to where they're going. So if you don't like spice, probably not the books for you. These are romanticities. Most romanticities are going to have spice of some sort. So if that's not your vibe, if that's not your bag, I wouldn't read these. But if you don't have a problem with them, I think they're really good. They're really fast. I ate them up. I call books like this junk food, and not because they're bad, but because I just eat them up. I devoured them. So I'm going to continue reading the synopsis so that you can get a better idea as to why I liked it. When Ophelia, she's the main character in this one, she also has a younger sister named Genevieve, discovers her mother brutally murdered, there is no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister, Genevieve, decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, and the victor is granted a single wish, one wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor, full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations. And Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed. 9 floors, demons, circle of hell. Are we getting there? Yeah, I did too. If her fears don't overtake her first. When a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She'll just need to ignore the overwhelming, dark attraction drawing them closer and closer together. because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. Now, I know that kind of sounds cheesy, a little bit cheesy on the love aspect. It's okay, though. It's necessary. It gets to the point. I'm not a huge cheese ball. I am easily entertained, though, so I was very much entertained by this book. Honestly, I just really enjoyed it. I thought that the imagination on it was good. I liked the little bit of cheese in it. I liked the little bit of romance in it. Well, not a little bit. I mean, it's spicy. But it's just a good, fast read. I mean, especially if you're in like a slump, this is a pretty good one to get you out of it. It's got a great time in it. Now, as far as Enchantra, it's not that I hated this book. I did not hate it. It just wasn't as good as the first one. It definitely kept me engaged because I wanted to know more of what was happening. But as for the first one, the first one is set in New Orleans, however you say it. This one is set in Italy. This one is focused on the sister now, because after the events of what happened in the first one, she's trying to figure out, there's a correspondence between the family in this one and her mother, and she's trying to figure out more information as to what's going on, to see if there's anybody that's like her, because she does have some magical elements to her as well. I apologize. I was just trying to read it. Italy. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was saying the correct setting. So she goes to Italy to try to speak to this correspondence that her mother was having before she died, and she ends up getting wrapped up in Enchantra. How Phantasma was the games in the first one, and Enchantra is the games in the second. Unlike Phantasma, where it's more centered around the games, and yes, Ophelia is trying to save her sister. Yes, there is a romance, situation going on, but that one's more focused on the games that Ophelia is playing. This one is this one's more focused on the family involved in the games. This one's centered around that family. Genevieve is a part of that. She does get thrust into it. But this one, whereas that one is more, Phantasma is more of 9 levels. This one is more of a hide and seek type situation. There is still a demon in it. There is still a granting of a situation. But the story is more centered around this family that she goes to find more information about. Still, like I said, still a good read. Still some interesting elements in it. I was still engaged trying to figure out what was going on. Not that it was confusing, but just wanting to know what was going to happen next is what I should have said. So it's still a good read. And it's still easy to digest. Again, easily entertained over here. So I liked it. I will keep it. I will more than likely reread it. There are some that I have seen that did not like it because of the fact that it was, the elements in the first one were just so good compared to this one. Like I said, there is something that alludes to there being a third book. It's one line at the end of the book that, if when you read it, if you're paying attention, because it's really just that one line that alludes to there being a third book that will be coming out at some point. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know anything about that. I haven't looked into it. I haven't seen if Kaylie's going to do anything, because this one literally just came out, so I don't know if she's said anything else about it. But as it stands, this is a duology, and hopefully she will come out with a third. I have an idea as to what the third book will be. And I do feel that if it's done right, it will wrap it all up well, to being a decent romantic horror element trilogy. So if it's something that you're interested in, go ahead and pick them up. I believe that Phantasma is still on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not quite sure. That's where I read Phantasma. Obviously, I had the physical for Enchantra. So if you wanna read it, and then we can have a discussion about it, that would be awesome. If not, you just want this review and it doesn't sound like your bag, cool. If there's something that is similar to that, I was very I very much loved the first one, if that didn't convey. So if there's anything that you have read that's similar to that, please let me know. I would be very interested in reading that, and then we can discuss that as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you reading. I really appreciate you watching the video to the end, and seeing me stumble through my words. And I look forward to the next one. Thank you so much.